And now, WolfBytes Open Mic.
The Bass Jackers.
I just came home actually from tour.
Hey guys, this is Phoenix Paul.
Hey, what's up? This is Sean Frank.
WolfBytes DJs and your favorite artists.
Sophie Francis. Sophie, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, it's super nice to join you guys.
What's up, guys? This is Ahmed Van Buren.
Now, Open Mic.
What's up? Nathan here at WolfBytes Radio, and we are back with another episode of WolfBytes Open Mic. Today we are joined by a very special guest, San Holo.
Hello. What's up?
How are you?
I think generally speaking, I'm doing okay right now. I went through some stressful weeks on tour preparations. It's all a little bit hectic because of the pandemic that has happened. Everyone's a little bit rusty, and supply chains are very bad. So we've been kind of hustling to get things together, but we're getting there. It's in a good spot right now.
Well, that's good that you have that positive mentality and you can push through sort of no matter what happens and when things are out of your control.
Yeah, you gotta, stay vibrant.
Absolutely. That's your motto, right?
Basically, yeah.
I love it. I love it. So back when I was in high school, I was 16. I was in a class with a friend of mine, and I just met this friend, very recent friend, and we we're talking about music, and I played him We Rise.
We rise, we rise, we fall, we rise, we rise, we fall, we rise, we rise, we fall, we rise, we rise, we rise.
And we both explained how awesome you were, and this is like my first song that I ever heard of yours. So when I was told that I was doing this podcast with you, I was super excited because it's like someone I've, heard before, and I was very excited about that. So I texted him immediately, and he had a couple questions for you. I said, let me know. So he wanted to know some stuff. So I have some questions for you from him, and then we'll move on to what I have for you.
Yeah, 100%. I'm super excited.
All right. Several artists in recent memory have been known to reimagine their most beloved tracks in the style of their newest work. A notable example being Porter Robinson imagining his Worlds track in the Nurture style, especially in a live show setting. Would you say there are any instances of your older tracks being reimagined in the style of Baby You Okay? If not, would there be any you'd like to reinvent?
Oh, it's a fun question because actually I basically remixed my entire old catalog prior to the Baby You Okay album. I remixed everything to kind of make it fit in the new set. So I actually did change a lot of my old work to give it a newer, like a breath of fresh air. There's songs like, I'll give you a good example. Like one of my songs, Fly, I released that like 6 years ago. And I decided to put it really early on in the set, but the first couple of songs you play in the set have to be really impactful and kind of fast and big. So I completely remixed that track to make it faster and stuff. And I added some guitars in there too. So that's what I do all the time. I keep remixing my older tracks to make them fit where I'm at right now in life. So if anyone, still thinking about going to a show, please do, because you'll get to see, you get to hear and see these new versions of old songs, basically all kinds of remixes I did of my own songs.
And that's really special to be able to use, your own work, recycle it, if you will. And
yeah, it's basically recycling. Yeah.
And you do have a show on November 5th in Raleigh, at the Ritz in Raleigh. That's where most of our listeners will probably come from. So just to put that out there, at the Ritz in Raleigh
awesome.
at 5 p.m. Yep. So out November 5th. So make sure you.
Wait, is it me or do you have an American accent or a British accent?
English.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
No, yeah, based in Raleigh, North Carolina. I live here in Raleigh. I'm just a student at NC State University, which is where our WolfBytes radio comes from.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, so the next question I have for you. The newest Goldie and Finch compilation just dropped October 15th. And with it, you have a track in collaboration with artists Taska Black, Flaws, and Mystic. Thinking about your other songs on the past Goldie and Finch compilations, were there any special qualities that made this one stick out from the rest?
So the Golden Finch is always, we call it our sonic runway. So we put all these artists on there that we believe are the future. This song I did on the Golden Finch 4. It's like the closing track of the compilation. And I decided to do like a collaboration with all these artists I look up to, like Taska Black is on there, like you said, Mystic, Flaws is on there. And I just sent them the first 1 minute of the song, and I was like, let's collaborate all together on this. And then they send me back their version, and then I sent that version to someone else, and then he sent me back his remix of that version, and then I kind of compiled everything together into one song. So it's a very collaborative track, which is why we also called it Bitbird as the artist name. It's not San Holo as the artist name. It's Bitbird as a family, and I think that's what I really like about this track on the compilation. It's not me. It's the movement. It's the Bitbird movement. It's the Bitbird create forever mentality. And I think over the years we've built something really awesome with Bitbird. I'm really proud of the label and the supporters the artists we've been supporting that are now actually, you know, also starting to play live shows. And there's an artist called Tsunami that we signed the other day, who I'm now putting on my tour. You know, so for me it's so special to see people that we as Bitbird believe in, to put them on into the spotlight, you know, and kind of kickstart their career in a way. You know, that's one of my favorite things to do, and I'm so excited people are paying attention to these really groundbreaking artists that we release on Bitbird. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that kind of makes you sound a bit like a godfather or something.
Oh,
like
I'm
that.
not a god nor a father, or like it's I'm just doing it out of love, man. I love, it's just like when I hear a great track, I want the world to hear it. And most of the great tracks come from the underground, you know, these fresh sounds, these fresh beats and synthesizers and like instrumentations, they all come from the underground. And you know, when I first started out making the music I make, no one really liked it either. And I sent it to labels and they were all like, oh, I don't know, it's a little bit weird. But now it's a thing, you know, if you keep believing in it, you keep pushing, you can create your own world. And that's the most inspiring thing to me. So I love to help artists facilitate that, you know.
So would you say that was one of the biggest reasons you started Bitbird?
Yeah, really, like it started out as just a platform to promote my friends. Because back then in the days, like I think 6 or 7 years ago, SoundCloud was really big, and all these crazy producers started popping off, and I had some traction with my remixes, and I was getting a lot of like eyes on me, and I was like, wait, my stuff is not even half as good as this producer right here. Like, and then I introduced Duskus and like Taska Black, East Coast, all these great producers. Yeah, that's the reason why I started Bitbird, to support the family, you know.
I love that sort of family mentality you have there as well.
Yeah.
So the next question he had for you is, the sound of Baby You Okay to me consists of little ideas and melodies that have a lot of room to breathe. Listeners are generally met with raw organic ideas that never truly overstay their welcome. Do you think that these types of tracks need to exist more in a scene dominated by impressive sound design techniques and formulas?
Most of my songwriting has always been about very basic ideas and lyrics. Most of the lyrics on Baby You Okay, the album, are not even lyrics, they're more like mantras. You know, Baby You Okay, it's not a lyric, it's just a question. There's a song on there called I Get Lonely Around People Too, which is also a mantra. It's not like I write pages of lyrics. Most of the time it's just 4 simple lines that are impactful to me, that I try to package in a way that is interesting throughout the song. And I feel like every song on the album is a little note, a little message to either myself or to my listeners. It's a personal note. And I think for me, what's most important is the feeling. I don't really care too much about impressive sound design or complicated things. I like I like the feeling. I want people to listen to it and have a feeling of life flowing through them, like relatable subjects like love and missing someone and being in your head too much. I want people to listen to it and feel something. More that than I want to impress producers or like musicians with like sound design or, I don't really care too much about that. I want people to feel.
Well, I'm glad that that's your goal, because I had another question coming up later that was literally going to say, when I listen to your music, I have an emotional connection to the sound.
Good. Yeah. That's
So if that's your goal, I mean, that's exactly what was coming across.
Great. Well, that's the best compliment then.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're doing it, and it's working for sure.
Thanks.
So your brand new album, Baby You Okay, just came out. Do you have a favorite song on it?
Yeah, I do have a favorite song. I think it's a song there called Make This Moment Last.
Time is moving fast, but we can make this moment last.
It's one of the songs that is important to me because it's about how time is moving really fast and we're all trying to keep up with time. We're always chasing, running to our next appointment, next meeting, our next goal, and we oftentimes forget to really breathe and make specific moments last. Like to really stand still and enjoy the moment. This is one of the things I struggle with the most in life, to really appreciate the moment. Even when I'm on tour, I'm touring these cities, I'm seeing these beautiful people in the crowd every night. And I catch myself not fully enjoying it, but still thinking about the show tomorrow. It has to be better. Or next week we got that show, it needs to be really great. And then after this tour, I want to do that and that and that. Instead of really appreciating the moment, I think, for me, it's a note to self. Time is moving fast, but we can make this moment last. And I should try to make moments last longer, create memories and stand still sometimes,
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's something I struggle with as well, is looking ahead too far and not exactly appreciating the moment at hand.
Yeah, because in the end, it sounds really cliche, but in the end, all we have is now. And it's the next 60 minutes are not just a given, like anything could happen.
Absolutely. Very true. Very true. So my favorite song is You've Changed, I've Changed on the album.
Oh, cool.
If there was a way, I would go back.
Yeah, I was
Cool.
listening to that in the car the other day, and it's just really, really
Yeah, man.
fantastic vibe to it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really fun because I have Chad Porter, the guy I wrote it with. I have him on tour, so every night we go on stage together for that song and we like scream our lungs out during the chorus.
It's very easy to sing along with.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's one of the best performing tracks on the record actually, which is funny because it's kind of a raw rock song
yeah,
in an EDM jacket.
good way to put it.
Yeah.
So I noticed that almost all the songs on the album are lowercase, and this is something you had on album 1 as well, except 3 songs in this new album. It Hurts, My Fault, and Feels Right. Why are they all in capitals?
I thought it looked great. That's it.
It does.
Yeah. So some words just look beautiful lowercase, and some words just look beautiful uppercase. Or like, what do you call it? Capitalized?
Capitalized, yeah.
Capitalized, yeah. Uppercase. Is uppercase even a thing, or is it just something I made
it
up?
works. It works. Uppercase, lowercase, yeah, absolutely.
I'm Dutch, man. I make words up sometimes, but yeah, I like the look of it. I like the fact there's 3, and when it's a long track list, and I kind of like pinpoint, it's literally an aesthetic thing for me. I just love the way it looked.
It does look very well. I was wondering if there was like a hidden meaning behind it or something, or you're supposed to read it. It hurts, my fault, feels right. I don't know, somewhere backwards or something like that.
Could be. Like if I would hate to be the one telling someone who has a a feeling with, the meaning behind it, to like, that's not true. No, it's whatever you want it to be. That's the most important thing. I also don't really like explaining my songs too much, because the song should mean whatever it means to you,
Mm. You don't want to
Yeah.
define and confine is the better word. You don't want to confine the listener to what you think it should be.
Exactly. Even though it's very personal to me, I want the listener to have the same personal connection to something that's going on in their lives. And it's a fine line, it's a fine line, because it's one thing to be personal about your own life and experience, but it feels so good when I notice people relate to it, and people that come from different backgrounds, different stories, different, brought up differently, yet they connect to it. So there's this universal feeling and emotion that apparently connects to people through music, and I think that's the most special thing, that you can't really describe why it connects to everyone in a different way, yet it feels so personal. It's beautiful.
I love that. You put that really well. I really appreciate that. So along the similar lines with that, with your music, especially your albums, do you suggest that listeners listen from start to finish, or just shuffle?
Well, I do make my albums. I spend a lot of time making it flow throughout. A lot of the songs kind of flow into each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely parts of the album, like halfway down the album, you go into this part that goes from Heal to Lonely in LA to I Get Lonely Around People Too. It's really about there's different parts that are different in emotion to the album. The album starts uplifting, and it goes to a loneliness part, and then it picks itself back up again. I would like it if people listen to it from start to finish. Yet I also want the songs to stand out on their own.
Yeah, I think that explains the roller coaster of life as well. You have ups and downs throughout it, and your music explains that well.
That's one of the most, ups and downs is one of the most common subjects in my music. I'm obsessed with the ups and downs in life, and I have been without knowing it, even back in the days, like 5 years ago when I made We Rise, We Fall. It keeps coming back. I think it's all about life, man. If people ask me what inspires you, I just it's life. It's human emotions and real, internalized questions, and just trying to figure out life, man. That's what music is about for me.
Trying to make sense of it, right?
Yeah, trying to make sense of it all, and trying to be okay with the fact that nothing really makes sense in the end.
Good viewpoint there. So the collaborations for this album are with majority non-Dutch musicians, with the exclusion of the Nicholas. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So another Dutch artist I've listened to before is Estine. Do you know of her? Yeah.
No, I don't know. No.
Well, I think you follow her on Instagram, Estine. And I was curious to see.
Oh, Sting.
Yes, Sting. I'm not sure how to pronounce it necessarily. But,
oh, yeah. The rapper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you'd ever work with her in the future?
Yeah. I think we spoke about it actually.
Oh, really?
A couple of times, but it's just like the hectic nature of being a traveling touring musician is it's hard to combine with collaborating, and but yeah, would love to make something with her. It's funny that how do you know?
I think she has a great sound. I have no idea how I ended up listening to her on Spotify, and I really like the sound, and her voice is fantastic as well.
Do you understand the lyrics?
No, I have no idea what she's saying, but it doesn't matter, because the feeling I get with the music and the emotional connection,
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's the feeling of life, flowing. It does something to you, and I think, that's what I try to do with my music too. Even if I use no words or just a few words, I hope people feel that feel the realness of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So along the lines of realness, you have a lot about on your website about percent. And what does percent mean to you?
That's something. That's a combination of internet culture and, you know, actual genuine emotions and things I think about every day. I feel like I got a little bit tired of always saying that I'm okay when people ask me like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "Hey, good. Yeah, I'm doing great." And I was like, "What if we have a better way of kind of quickly pointing out how we're feeling without having to use too many words?" And then I think at first I just started kind of like putting my percent. It started with my friend asking me on the tour bus, "Hey man, how are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. I feel like 61% today." And he was like, "Oh, 61. I'm feeling like a solid 79% right now." And that's when I started like putting that in my Twitter name. And then everyone started doing it. Like there was this huge, like suddenly this scene of people, a community of people doing that. And it really has everything to do with the stay vibrant motto I just said earlier. It's like stay vibrant is not about positive vibes only or whatever. It's not about it's once again appreciating the ups and downs in life and being okay with not being okay sometimes. You know, it's I feel like for the longest time we've told ourselves we need to be positive always, and actually EDM was dominated by the positive vibes only movement. You know, like positive vibes. And I'm not saying that's bad or wrong, but I think it's important for people to hear that you're going to go through parts in life that are not about positive vibes only. It's about, you know, realizing the ups and downs of life, embracing the ups and downs of life, and knowing that, you know, brighter days will come. And I didn't mean to link that to one of my songs, but like it really is all about, most of the times my song titles are just literally things I think about in my head, like brighter days will come, we rise, will fall. I just want to see the light. You know, I just want to know what's going on. I just want clarity. And stay vibrant is kind of like embodies everything I think about. And it comes down to I'm going to say once more, embracing the ups and downs of life and being okay with it. So if one day you're like 11%, it's pretty low percentage, but it's okay. It's okay to tell people that you're not feeling the greatest. But as long as you keep a vibrant mindset, you realize things will pass, and, you know, the percentage is always fluctuating. It's going up and down. It's not a solid straight line. It's I hope that kind of explains the percentage a little bit.
No, it does. Yeah. And also with the music aspect of things, if you only focus on the positive, you're missing 50%.
Yeah. It kind of naturally evolved. I don't even know where it started. It naturally evolved into this thing where now I'm known as, like, you know, the percentage guy. And then we found out this really funny thing when you spell out my name, San Holo. When you do like San and then you get an H, and then the percentage literally spells HOLO.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I mean. It was just so funny. It's like it was meant to be that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely meant to be. So what is your 100%?
I think I was only 100% one time in my life, which was at like Red Rocks.
Yeah.
When I played Red Rocks and everything just fell into place. Yeah. Like my family flew out to see me play at the biggest show I've ever done before. And it was just something I've been working up to for years in the back of my mind. Like, wow, how awesome would it be if I could do that one day? And it all came together that night. It was a special day. But I gotta say, 100% is very rare, and people oftentimes misuse it. Like, it's not just like, most of the time, I think if you're really lucky and happy, you're like about 90, 95%. 100% is like really uncommon. So don't misuse it. Don't, you know, it's only on very special moments.
I think that's a once in a lifetime 100%, or can it happen?
Maybe not once in a lifetime. I hope you reach it many times in your life, but I want people to realize 90% is extremely high. You know, it is extremely high. Even 70% is super solid. It's also about accepting and being okay with things not being incredibly perfect always, you know. That's why I say 100% is very uncommon, but I hope you reach it a lot throughout your life.
Yeah, so you touched on a lot of the names of your songs, and they're just things that are in your head. So how important is mental health to you, and what has the pandemic taught you?
Well, I think more and more I'm starting to realize that mental health is matters way more to me than I thought it did. I'm very rational and very how do I say this? Mental health is so important, but I don't want to fall into the trend of saying, oh my God, yes, mental health is so important. Mental health is something very complex. And I can just say right now, yes, mental health is important, but that doesn't even do it justice. I don't know how to respond to this question. Mental health is something so deep and complex that it takes time for someone to really know what mental health really is. Because I thought my mental health was fine for the last 7 years. I thought I was fine. I thought I didn't have any stress. I thought I was not worried. Only to find out that I have been stressed every single day of my life. I just didn't show it, and I didn't know how to realize that I was. Because if you grow up a certain way and you've been doing certain things your whole life, how are you supposed to know your mental health is bad? Because no one references that. There's no way for you to reference your mental health to someone else's mental health, because we're all our own universe in our heads. So just talking about how it's important to de-stress and that kind of stuff, that's only surface level mental health. It goes really deep, and I do advise people to read a lot of books about the mind and about mindfulness and about the mind and the body connection, because I think we should be teaching this at schools. You know, it's sorry, it's hard for me sometimes to answer questions with a yes or no. It's important.
No, we want more. Absolutely,
Yeah.
more is better. Yeah.
I think this is almost a science. Mental health is such a overlooked thing in our society, especially now with all these new medias and like social medias and our phones. It's I think we can barely grasp the concept of mental health ourselves, and I think, you know, we have a lot of work to do as a world, as a society, to make that not a special conversation. It's an everyday conversation. It's what should be taught to kids at schools. It's so much bigger. You know, it's not just an Instagram post saying, here's 5 ways you can work on your mental health. It's way deeper than that. And sometimes I'm scared people simplify it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not about sorry, maybe I'm just being a little bit maybe I'm being a little bit skeptical, because I notice a lot of people. I don't know, how old are you right now?
22.
22, man. You grew up with a phone, right?
For the last probably 7 years, 8 years, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when I went to school, I had no phone. I had no way to compare myself to my classmates on social media, or like I cannot even fathom how different even in these last couple of years, how different your reality was from mine. You seem like a very intelligent person.
Thank you.
So I think you can kind of understand how much social media and phones affect people. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that as a world, we should look at that and see what it does to mental health of people.
I asked this question as well because I know that you on social media, you've posted about this before, about putting the phone down for a little bit of time.
Yeah. And even that was I caught myself getting it sometimes, in all transparency. It's become such a part of our lives. And I think putting a phone down for 1 month wasn't really enough to like,
yeah.
But I need it. It's also a promotion for my brand. I don't know, man. Social media is it's a very complex thing, and I don't know. I'm getting too philosophical, and I should just like kind of like narrow it down a little bit more. But to answer your question, yes, mental health is extremely important, and I hope there will be more awareness about how deep that stuff goes in the future.
So what has the pandemic taught you in regards to that?
Oh, a lot of existential stuff for me. For me, it was a lot of existential feelings of, I also turned 30 in the pandemic, and I never thought it would affect me. But suddenly you realize, I became hyper aware of my mortality. When I was 22, I didn't really think about the fact that all of this is fleeting and everything is temporary, and every second or minute you don't enjoy being alive is kind of a waste in a way, but it's also part of life and you need it to grow. I got depressed in the pandemic about, if every day you wake up thinking about existential things like, oh, why would I even work on this song? Because in 1,000 years, it's just another song. Like everything is so fleeting, especially because I realized like how the bands I grew up with, some of them, when I talk to people your age, never heard about them. And it's completely normal, but it's never thought I'd get to that age or level where there's this new there's this new generation that is so different from my generation. I think that really came out the last couple of years with TikTok coming up, and then it's so different. But I can't talk to you about it because I think you're part of that. You're young.
So which bands for you that you grew up with?
Back in my eyes was the Editors, the Police.
Yeah, I know the Police.
You know the Police? Yeah. What about, obviously, Blink-182 because they're still hot right now. They're great. Sum 41?
Nope.
See, like The Offspring?
No, I haven't heard of those either.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's completely okay. But for the first time in my life, I started feeling old, Yeah. And I think I talk about it a lot lately with my friends. Like with Tsunami, she's a producer who's on a tour bus and she's 21. And we always talk about how I'm like the grandpa of the tour, I'm like the oldest of all the support artists. And I feel it's also cool. I like it, but it's crazy to realize, oh man, these kids are listening to other things now, and other things are trendy and popular. And sometimes I don't fully understand it. And it's the first time I feel like my parents, when they didn't understand EDM, they were like, what is this music? Why don't you go back to playing guitar?
Yeah.
But it's all good, man.
Well, at 30,
you'll think about this when you turn 30.
Yeah, but 30 is not even old.
Well, that's what I said when I was 22.
Maybe in 8 years' time, we'll have a different point of view on that.
Yeah.
So was the guitar the first instrument you learned to play?
Yes, it was the first my first love, and I think it will always be my biggest love. And the guitar is to me the coolest instrument out there. But easiest way to express myself is through the guitar.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever do any stripped versions of your songs?
Yeah, would love to. Yeah, I will. One day, when I'm 40, I'm really old, I'll do like an acoustic tour with all my all the hits.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. I think that would be very interesting to go back to the roots,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have some like guest musicians, singing like light and like we rise, we fall. That would be really cool. I've been thinking about that. I want to do that one day, like a very small setting, small venues.
Yeah.
Just some acoustic guitars and then like translating those songs into, yeah.
That's very cool. I appreciate that. So a couple quick fire questions for you, a bit more random and all over the place, but how old were you when you decided to keep the beard?
I was about 23.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I kept it, I suddenly didn't have to show my ID anymore when I bought alcohol. It makes me wiser. It makes me a wiser man.
Yeah, it goes along with that grandpa of the tour bus, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what sort of work-life balance do you have? Are you in the studio often? What other things do you get up to?
I have no work-life balance. It's all the same thing.
Okay.
It's probably not so healthy, but
well, it depends if you love what you do.
Yeah, it's a complicated question because I'm always working on this stuff. And that's also maybe why my music is so personal, because it's about every single day in my life and the thoughts that I feel and think. And a lot of these thoughts also happen because I'm touring and I'm traveling from city to city, making connections with people and then having to say goodbye again. It's all one thing. And I don't think I would be able to do it any other way. Because I wouldn't be able to release a love song if I was in the middle of a heartbreak. It would feel such a contrast, So yeah, no work-life balance yet, but maybe that's something I'll work on in the future when I work on it.
Which artists do you listen to the most?
Lately, I listen to a lot of Sufjan Stevens. This new artist called Former Hero that we just released on Bitbird. Really great artist, amazing. He's from the UK too, actually.
Have to check him out. No, I haven't.
No, this is a serious topic. It's not like, oh, you have to check him out.
Yeah, okay.
All right. After the interview you put on Former Hero,
yeah,
he's doing something incredible in the electronic music scene right now. Truly groundbreaking. And he's one of the few artists I want to see on the main stage,
Yeah. And then if you could collaborate with any artist from, alive right now, passed away, who would it be?
I always find it hard to answer this question because I feel like if I name my favorite band or favorite artist, it kind of makes me feel like that's the only thing I like, or that's what identity.
You say three different ones.
No, I can tell you about, like, I grew up listening to the Red Hot Chili Peppers when I was young. Have you ever heard of them?
Oh yeah.
Cool. And their guitarist John Frusciante definitely inspired me a lot. I gotta say, like, the way he plays guitar, I was the biggest fan. So if I'd ever be able to do something with him, that'd be so awesome. But they also say don't meet your heroes, so maybe that's better that way. I don't know. But John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, really, really inspiring to me throughout my life. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on today. I really appreciate it. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, man. Same. Very good question. Thank you for the deep questions.
Appreciate it. Like to, find a little bit more about the artist, from behind the music.
Cool. Well, great job. Great work.
The San Holo will be in the Ritz in Raleigh, November 5th. So to all of you out there, don't forget to subscribe and like us whenever you're getting our podcast from. And make sure you head over to wolfbytes.ncsu.edu for more information. I'm Nathan here at WolfBytes Radio, and we'll catch you next time here on WolfBytes Open Mic.
Like us, subscribe, and review. This is 88.1 WolfBytes Radio's Open Mic.